Hello everybody and welcome to my first voiceover. So this is the first time hearing my voice, yay! Unless you've come from my unboxing channel, then you've heard it many times before, but if you haven't, then well, welcome. This is my art channel that I've been wanting to start up. It's been up for a while and there is like 3 videos up on it right now. But they're spaced very far apart and I have not been able to upload much to it, but that's mostly because I haven't had all the art supplies and all the recording supplies and all that I've wanted to really get it started. They were just kind of, it's like I had the footage, I might as well upload it. So this is kind of the start, you could say, to this channel. And it starts with my very first marker project. I am using Chameleon markers, which I've actually never used any art markers before. I've always either done just sketching or I've done acrylic, but I've never done art markers before, and this is my first time using art markers. I chose Chameleon markers because I'd been in the market for markers for a long time, and there are a lot of really good markers out there, but I was looking for something that wasn't ungodly expensive like Copic. Copics are great, but I can't afford them. But I also wanted something that I could refill. So, you know, I've considered Copics, but they're real expensive. I've considered Prismacolor, which they're not as expensive and they're really great, but they're not refillable, unfortunately. But then I came across the Chameleon markers, which are really nice, and they are called Chameleon markers because they do have the blending feature where you can take the top off, and the top has a chamber of colorless blender in it, and you could put them together, put the tips together, and it makes a blending effect, which I didn't really use too much of that in here. I just kind of was giving the markers a try and wanted to test them out and see how I could do. Now, for the longest time, I've never really worked with color. I am pretty much completely a self-taught artist. I've never really taken any art classes before or anything. So I'm not the best with color, and I'm not the best at shading. So a lot of this is still kind of a learning curve for me. Still a lot of trial and error and everything. Like, you know, so there are some spots where I'm just like, oh, shouldn't have shaded there, or no, shouldn't have highlighted there, but with markers you can't really go back. But I really enjoyed using these markers a lot. They work really nicely, the color looks really good, and I think I'm gonna start doing more marker illustrations. They turn out really nice, and this drawing itself, I actually came up with the concept for this quite a few months ago. Actually, I had the original sketch down and I came across it in my sketchbook and decided, oh, I should re-ink that and fix a few things on it and make that into something, and that's what I ended up doing, and I'm really proud of how it turned out, and I really can't wait to start doing more stuff like this. I'm sorry, my head gets in the way of the camera a lot. I'm not used to drawing or doing art with a camera above me, so sorry about that. Also, my camera likes to shut off like every 15 minutes and then it doesn't let me know until like 30 seconds later, so if you notice some skips in the video, that's why. But this took me about 2 hours to finish coloring in all the way. I had it inked in and had the line art and all that already done a while ago. But I finally got enough Chameleon markers. Like, I had a few, but then for Christmas I got the big 22 pack. And I could still definitely use more. There's only like 2 nude colors in there, and yeah, I wanted to make her a little paler, but there was only 2 nude colors, and I had to use one for shading, so yeah, I could definitely use more, but she did turn out really good. I'm glad I have all the basic markers that I need, and like I said, I'm pretty proud of myself for this one, and I'm really happy that I finally got around to actually coloring it. And I plan on doing more videos like this, where I have the voiceover, tell you about the art, tell you about my methods, I guess, if I really have any. And I want to upload a lot more if I can and try to get a lot more art done. Like I said, some of those other videos I uploaded before this were just kind of I'll just put them out there just to see what happens. But now I'm wanting to really start taking the channel itself a little more seriously and get more into it. But there are a few things that I do regret a little bit about this, and one of them is her hair. I didn't have a lighter colored purple than that, so it is a little darker than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. And I'm still trying to get good with shading and highlights and all that. Like I said, I've never really taken any sort of art classes before. I've only ever just kind of am self-taught and have pretty much learned everything on my own. I did play Art Academy on the 3DS, but I don't think that counts. But hopefully here, after I am in college and I want to get all of my main classes out of the way, like, you know, the college algebra and all that kind of stuff out of the way before I try to take any art classes. That's if I go into art for college. I still haven't made that decision yet. But one of my favorite things about this drawing is definitely the way the wings turned out. I ended up taking that white pencil there and kind of adding like this leaf, these little lines on her wings to make them almost look like leaves. And the point was kind of to make it look like leaves, but to also make the lines look like veins. Like they're just veins that you kind of see through her wings, running through her wings. And basically the way I came up with this color concept was a color wheel. I tried my best to come up with something good. I tried to use similar colors in similar areas and tried to reuse the same color a lot and tried to use colors that worked well with each other, that complemented each other. So yeah, but I was still pretty limited on colors. I think altogether I have about 35 Chameleon markers with all my little expansions, which seems like a lot, but when you really need a certain shade of something, it's not. But like I said, this is pretty much my first time I've ever even used art markers, and I do really like them a lot. So for the longest time, I've only focused mostly on sketching and doing just, you know, keeping with sketching and black and white and all that. But I decided to give color a try, and the only thing I've ever really worked with color before was the acrylic that I've done. I have done acrylic paintings. But I'm really wanting to spread out and to try other things. Like the two things I'm most comfortable with is just traditional sketching and acrylic painting. So I'm really wanting to branch out and try other things, and so far I really like these markers a lot. I'm going to be using those a lot, and I'm wanting to do more color pencil, I'm wanting to do more watercolor, and all that. I do have a Redbubble shop that most of the art that I have put on YouTube is in and will be in. I do want to put this up on there real soon. So yeah, there's that. I do have another channel that is my figure unboxing channel that I've uploaded a few speed sketches and stuff too, but I decided one day, you know what, I do want to start doing like an actual art channel. So I have both channels that I manage now, and I actually made a video on that channel announcing this channel quite a few months ago, even though I didn't really do anything with this channel at the time, but now I do plan on starting to actually kick this channel into high gear and actually start uploading and doing stuff. So yeah, hopefully you'll be seeing more of me and more of my art, and I hope you like my art. Like I said, I've never really taken any classes or done anything real professional. I'm just self-taught, and you know, I've done some like tutorial stuff online, but that's about it. But so far, I think that's all I have to say. I'm mostly just wanting to introduce the channel, introduce myself. And the only other thing I can say about this piece is I do kind of regret using the pink on the flower a little bit. It just kind of makes it all a little too bright. It's just, it kind of stands out weird in my opinion. I wanted to go with pink originally, but then when I finally saw it on there, I was like, because I didn't do any sort of real color prep. Like, I didn't, like, maybe from now on I should start, like, taking copies and just laying down some basic color and seeing, oh, will this work, or will this work? So maybe I'll try doing something like that. Like I said, my art style is all pretty much trial and error and learning and winging it and seeing what works. But I can't really say what inspired this because I'm not entirely sure. I just kind of wanted to draw something. Normally I draw animals. I wanted to draw something that had a person or a human type person in it. So I went ahead and did this. I guess one thing that did inspire it a little bit is the fairies from Fantasia, that old Disney movie. Even though she doesn't really look anything like them, I guess that did kind of inspire it a little bit, her style a little bit, and like the fact that she's in a flower and stuff. But it's just, there's not much to be said about it. It's just a fairy waking up from her nap or sleep or whatever in her flower, which is her bed, apparently. But, yeah, I think that's all I've got for this. I hope you guys like it. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you'll stick around for my future videos and more of my art. Bye!